computer. There we go. Okay, so if you guys remember when we talked last time, we talked about the concept of like cubes and how they kind of go to a single vanishing point, right, on either side. So cylinders do the same thing. So one of the things I want you to notice, and you do not have to sketch this. Wait, actually, let me make this a little bit bigger so you can really see it.
Yes, please. Thank you.
There we go. Let me put it right here. Come on.
Whoops.
How's that? Right? So one of the things that's really neat to think about with this is that, and notice once again, if you look at the center, remember when a cylinder, the top or the bottom of a cylinder, right, is split in half. Notice that this half, even though this is the exact halfway point, from where we're looking at it, this half looks smaller and this half looks bigger.
Got it? Interesting.
And yeah. Also notice that the top is much narrower and the bottom is much wider. Can you see that? So that is the main thing I want to get across to you in this. And we're going to start with a very simple exercise. Then I'm going to have you draw a cup. But first, let's just look at a couple of others. So come here, you. Come on up. So if you can see this, these are different ways. Notice in every single case, the part here, so the top is much narrower circle than the bottom.
Huh.
Right? Top, much narrower than the bottom. This is obviously going back, so this part is wider and this part is narrower. So notice that these circle, just like there are no such thing as parallel lines, right, on a side of a building or a cube, for example. Everything is at a different angle going to a single vanishing point. It's the same with these circles. And we don't see this part, so we don't think about it very much, right? But when you're working on it, when you're drawing, you need to be thinking about it and understanding what that looks like. What that, of course, means is that there's a much bigger dip here than we think. Does anybody have questions about that? I mean, it's
a million,
right? Right? It's cone vision.
Why?
Well, but if you know it, it's simple, right? It's a very simple thing. So in a very simple way, where are you? Okay.
Like A to me seems like, yeah, that one would be bigger because it's coming toward me, right? So it's like what we learned. But
why? Because you're looking down at something. So this is when you're looking straight across. This is you're looking down at something. So the angle is changed. When you're looking straight across at an opening, it's much smaller.
Oh.
Down, it gets bigger.
Oh, yeah, that makes sense.
The job is to, and I will, hang on. So I'm going to stop the share for a second because I have this one up. So the first thing I'm going to have you guys do, just as a practice, is, wait, where's my share? Stop the share. There we go. Okay. Hi, Rob. How you doing?
Hello.
All right. You haven't missed anything. Don't worry about it. I was just talking about it. So what I like about this particular thing is that once you learn it, it's just like a trick. It's like, you know, how we learned as kids how to draw the road up like this, or how you learned how to draw a cube, right? You don't think about it. You just accept it, that this is like the reality. So when I'm turning off my video here, go ahead and click on speaker view and put me on, click on Leah demo. And you'll see, okay. Okay, and you'll see, so if I, whoops, darn it, that's not what I wanted to do. I'm sorry, hold on. Let me, why am I not, weird. Hang on, I'm looking for myself. I can't find it, hold on. There we are, okay. So you guys probably all got there a long time before I did. So what's nice about this is just to remember that as you're sketching these in, and let me get a pen so I can really show you. ruler. So here, that's the halfway point on the top. And here, is the halfway point on the bottom. So the key thing to notice here is that if you were to stand over the top of this and look down, this would be divided exactly in half. But because we're looking at it from the side, we recognize that this side up here is smaller. Look, if I try to bring it down, it comes to about there. So this side is always smaller. It's the same here, except that this whole circle is wider because we're looking down. So your first job is going to be to sketch this, a few of these, actually. I want to see you put your, notice, like.
Yes, Julia.
Lisa and I have the same puzzled look on our faces. Just like,
Only because I know I can't draw those things.
he's just looking, I'm just like,
Oh, come on.
Lopsided ovals.
Come on. So
I have a question though. Do you guys hear me okay with my headset on?
you do.
Yes, you've gone full school on this.
Right? So
Yeah.
you're going to start with a small circle and a larger circle. And then you're going to find the halfway point. And remember, the halfway point is smaller on this side and larger on this side before you add in your sides. So I want you to try this a few times. Sketch it. Sketch a few of these. And then we're going to move on to doing a cup, a coffee cup. I have it all set up behind here. So anybody have any questions about that? All right, then I'm going to share this. I know this sounds like, there you go. I think it's so funny. You guys are so funny. Like, this is actually a helpful tip. If you can remember this, it's going to help you draw things better. Don't try to bend your mind into thinking why it is the way it is. It may be a while before you get that, but just know that this is the way it is. All cylinder objects are like that. So go ahead and try a few. Fill your paper with them and send them to me so I can see how it's going. I'm going to leave the Zoom for a second. Look at WhatsApp. And I want to see these when you're done with them. Send them over. So just at the beginning. So this is good to know. This is happening with every cylinder. That means arms. That means glasses. It means bottles. It means vases. In some places,
Does it work on cats too?
yes.
What did you say?
It work on cats too?
Cats?
It works on cats.
Aw.
Aw.
Hi, Julia. Hi. Hi, Julia. What a good girl you are. You're such a good girl.
It is, but She wants too much attention when I'm painting.
Yes, she does. Of course she
Something
does.
else getting your attention.
But she knows this is a cat-friendly zone.
That's probably it.
She absolutely knows it. When you're done with just sort of a few, send them over my way. I want to see what you're doing. I want to see if you're getting this concept. It's so funny. I was telling this story to somebody else. When I was about 10 years in as an artist, I lived in Armenia for a couple of years. And I used to study with a guy. I used to study art with a guy who lived in a crazy little village house. A really good artist, Jakob Hovannisian. He's still around. Jakob Hovannisian, his name is, and didn't speak any English, but we would meet. I would take like a bus, like 3 hours to get to his town. He would come in and we would meet at a hotel, and like one of the people at the hotel would translate for me when I would have lessons for him. So when I first asked him for help, I was like, I need help drawing people. And he gave me a skull and had me draw it. And then he looked at me and he said, yeah, we're going back to coffee cups.
Really?
It was so humiliating because I didn't know this thing that I'm about to show you.
Yeah, we
And I have ever since I've been like, oh my God, that's so hot. This is so the Jakob Hovannisian lesson. Yeah, you're going back to coffee cups. Let's get to the basics here.
What's the step before coffee cups? That's where I need to go.
Here. Okay, so Rollo, most of those look pretty good. I would say the one on the top left, be careful because those are too much the same size.
Yeah.
And then, good job. But sort of getting the concept of it. Do you guys want to try doing before we go to coffee cups, do you want to try this one really quick? Here, hold on. Let's try, do you guys want to try one of these?
Yeah, sure.
Because you've already done this one. So try this one and that one. And if you want to, you can draw the little cube that's there. Or if you can try, the cube is a little helpful because it kind of shows you how to fix things, fit things. Okay, so Lisa, Lisa B, I would say that the bottom is too big.
Oh.
So bring it up just a little bit. But the top looks perfect. However, the only other thing I want you to really get is that you're still dividing, you're still mostly dividing. Is that true? Or am I just giving you a hard time? Let me check. Yep, you're dividing these circles in half, and they are not actually, they do not actually look like that.
Yeah.
The back half is smaller than the front half, even though
Yeah.
way. So, you know, it's interesting because these are important concepts to grasp. They seem kind of simple, but I think now is the time to introduce them after you've had some opportunity to experience when we're off at things, right? It's easier to apply this lesson. When you've had a chance to do these, send them over. Let's see. See people are. So Lisa Richwine, you are tending to make this part bigger, this back part bigger, and this front part smaller.
Mm-hmm.
So you need to be thinking that here's the halfway point.
Okay.
This comes out a little wider and deeper. This goes in, this is narrower and smaller.
So I'm doing it the opposite again, which I tend to do.
Oh, good, Rollo. Really good. Yeah. All right.
Using your writing brain.
I guess so.
They're trying to understand it with their writing brain, which is not helpful.
Dang it. My work shift just ended at 6 o'clock, so it's hard to turn off my writing brain.
I hear you.
Hey, Lisa, since I've got you here, can I ask you to consider being a speaker for our art show?
Yes, I wrote back to you.
I know you're going to do an interview with me online.
Oh,
I'd like to know if you would be the representative speaker.
well, dang, you just put me on the spot. Tell me again the date. Let me look at my calendar. October 5th is a Monday. What time for just one of them, right? Or both of them?
3 o'clock.
What time did you say?
3 o'clock.
3 o'clock Pacific?
Yep, our time.
Sure.
Awesome.
I'm not sure what I just committed to, but sure.
I think I'm really, well, we'll talk about it. I'll talk to you
Okay.
about it tomorrow when we have our meeting. And 5 to 7 will work, so I'll text you a little bit about that later.
Okay, great.
When you guys have had a chance to finish this, I'm going to set you up with a actual still life. We're going to talk about a couple of things here. Let's see. Yes. Trying to light a still life for you. Oh yeah, that's really cool. And it shows very dramatically. That's right. When you're done, let me know, and I'll direct you towards the still life, and we'll talk about that for a minute.
This faded Ginsburg has a face like a chipmunk.
Is that who you're drawing?
Yeah.
That's awesome. All right, are you guys done with this? I can
No.
want a little bit more to, okay. I'm going to give you a couple more minutes with this, and then what I'll do is I'll email this all out to you or send it on the WhatsApp, or either that or I'll send it on the WhatsApp tag group, and you'll have it to continue working on. I'd like to move you on to the main assignment of the day when you're ready.
circles are so mushy.
Well, if you're waiting, go ahead and try to add in these extra inside lines.
Hold on one second. Just pouring myself a drink.
Oh, good for you. Good.
I think today is an extra drinking day.
Every day is lately.
Yeah, every day of 2020 is an extra drinking day. But so is today. Except that I will tell you, our show looks so fucking good.
Oh, awesome.
It really looks wonderful. You're not even going to believe your own work, guys. When you see it kind of portrayed, good, Lisa B. Good. Good.
Why is that letter A so hard?
The letter A.
You have to draw the box.
The first cylinder. Oh, okay.
Yeah, you have to draw the box.
Because
There's no way getting your head around that thing without it.
you can tell where this is in relation to this. If I were you, I would draw this first and then draw the second circle here second. And then,
Oh, okay.
but it's hard because remember, all these three lines, this one, this one, this one, and this one, are all going off to one vanishing point. See that little X here?
Yep.
Single one of those goes. Every single one, every single like perspective side that's going in that direction. Nice, Lisa. Lisa, can you give me the inside of the cup too? So go ahead and draw, like fill in these dotted areas. Fill in
That
that.
needs to be.
Yeah. On A, this is on A. Yeah. Nice. So like I said, after you spend some time with perspective, this will actually make sense to you. I'm not sure you guys have been doing this long enough for me to launch into a massive explanation, but what you will notice is that there are a lot of things in life that are kind of cylinder-like, and they all show, they have similar properties to this. So your next job, of course, is to find this. We're going to apply that to a coffee cup because a coffee cup looks kind of like this.
Sorry for my lopsided circles.
Just do your best. Oh, Lisa, I think you're sending those to the September 16th and not the 12th.
That may be what's happening.
Just so everybody else can see them too.
Block one. Oh, September 23rd.
Let's see. Here we go. Yeah. There we go. Nice. Okay. You guys tell me when you're ready. We're going to go on.
I'm ready.
All right, let's do this. Let's go back up to Leah demo.
I like the headset, Lisa.
You can get one just like it. Tino will give you one. It's for, yeah, tell him you want a headset to use with Teams. Yeah, and you plug it straight into your computer. It's really easy. And I use it when I do Microsoft Teams calls.
Oh, that's
Just
awesome.
email Tino and he'll put one on your desk.
All right.
Yay.
I'll start by showing you, holding up my cell phone so that you can see this. So you guys are going to draw this today, probably from about this angle. So the first thing I want you to notice, and this is just to reiterate the point, look at the top of the cup. Where is that pencil sitting on the top of the cup?
The middle.
Oh,
Yeah, but where is it sitting? Close to us or farther away from us?
Farther away. That was a trick question.
Exactly. But if you've been, that's exactly what we've been talking about, sitting exactly in half. See that? Well, basically here, Libby.
Yeah.
It's exactly in half. So I want you to notice what happens, right? So when I bring this back, notice that these halves become unequal, just like we were drawing in the sketch. It's also true that the circle down here will be steeper, right? It's going to be curved, and it's going to be a little bit steeper. So the other thing I wanted to point out to you guys before we get started on this is that this is really easy. So I have got this. Where's the lighting coming from? Can anybody tell?
All right.
Right.
Yeah, they're right. So I actually have a lamp here playing on this. We can have some pretty strong light. So notice that although on this side, the outside of the cup, the light is hitting, and then as the cup turns away, it gets darker. With the inside of the cup, the dark light is reversed. So over here, it's the lightest side. Here it's dark. Can you see that?
Mm-hmm.
That, just keep that in mind as you're drawing. And I can keep the pencil on here or not if it's distracting. I don't want you to necessarily draw it. All right, let's see, I want to turn this around. So let me get this set up so that you guys can actually. Sorry, hang on. Ugh. There we go. Sometimes if I click the wrong button on my phone, it'll freeze my computer. All right, and I want to turn this. All right. There we go. So the light should still be, changes the light a little bit. So basically the light's coming from this side. You can see it's still darker. Actually, let me turn this back. I like that better. It's more direct. Stronger. Move this over here. Oh, come on. Now my thing is getting kind of wobbly. Where are we? Sorry. Takes a while to get this positioned exactly right. All right. You guys see that, or do you want me to?
Yeah. Are you leaving the pencil or not leaving the pencil?
You want me to? There we go. No. Right?
You pull it a bit more towards yourself, Leah.
Yeah, like that, right?
Yeah,
But
back a little now. Oh, there
Yep.
you go.
There
Yep.
we go. Put the light here so you can really see it. So this light on this side and this light in here and dark over there. I'd like to bring it back a little bit so so this is the halfway point. Exactly the halfway point. Crazy. I'll keep it on for a few minutes and then I'll take it off because you don't actually have to draw this. I just want you to remember. So go ahead and try it. Draw it with the shading. And then you can just text it over to me. I should at some point probably take a picture of this. So wait a minute. I'm sorry. There. That's it. Perfect. You can also see that if you look here at the base, this yoga cube, this is also, look at what's happening here. This is also going back, right? These are also at an angle and they would go back to a single vanishing point. This is the front, but this is just like a cube. So if you want to get that kind of practice too, you can totally sketch that in.
Wait, say that again about the vanishing point.
Look, the vanishing point goes to just like a cube on this yoga.
Oh, that's why you put it on that box, you tricky girl.
Yes, well, really, I didn't look at it. And here's the thing, when I'm looking at this in 3 dimensions, it's less extreme. That's still happening. It's still happening, but in my mind, I'm sort of adjusting. So it's literally a mental thing to understand. Oh, I need to make this angled, and this one way angled. I mean, if I really want to, anyway, no, I'm not going to mess with you. I was going to say, mentally, I'm just,
Don't mess with us.
but it doesn't look like it. Just like this is halfway, but it doesn't look like it. Yes, so everyone at some point gets the coffee cup lesson, a la Paco Popanesian. And I just want you to know that it happened to me. And I've been painting for 10 years. It was embarrassing how much I didn't know.
What a good lesson, though.
It was a great lesson, and I stuck, I mean, that's why I went to Europe. I went to Europe, Eastern Europe. I kind of think of Armenia loosely there, because I knew I would get that training. And I knew I didn't have to go to art school proper to do it. I knew I could just find people who would teach me, and I totally did. I found a lot of people. I paid them, but I found a lot of people who would teach me. And that was the kind of, and that was one of those seminal lessons that I carried back with me. My best friend, this is a guy I met in Budapest. His name is Lado Pochka. He lives in, he's the Georgian guy who does the pig versus the fox nose thing. And Lado was really my best friend and taught me the most, mostly through just sort of casual conversation and when we would hang out together. And I remember Lado saying to me, Leah, one day you go back to US and you open Madame Leah's School of Drawing.
See, he's a fortune teller.
I love that.
I'm like,
Madame Leah's School of Drawing.
and this summer I taught his 7-year-old kid who is in Brooklyn like art lessons, and we were laughing about it. He was like, see, Leah, I told you, you do Madame Leah's School of Drawing.
All right, well, that's where I'm going to tell myself I am tonight.
Yeah,
Madame Leah.
Leah's School
Time
of-
to rebrand, Leah.
Did you guys ever read any of those British books, Theater Shoes or Drama Shoes or Ballet Shoes?
No.
They're about little kids in World War II. Actually, one of them I think is set in World War I. They're all like children who have been orphaned, who find themselves in the care of a quirky governor or governess, and they have to go on stage to survive. They have to do plays and pantomimes, to make enough money to live. And they all turn out, of course, they each turn out to be totally talented in, all the different ways that it leads to a professional career in being a performance artist. But I always think about those, because those are the kind of, like, one of the girls was a dancer and she went to like Madame Tussauds dancing school, and I don't know, it was, she was tall and slender and Russian. Although it sounds French, so maybe it wasn't Madame Tussauds. Anyway, I forget what it was. She was either French or she was either Russian or Romanian. This was my fantasy of what my alternate life, which is insane because it means my parents would have died, but it was like a daring. But it seemed like a very romantic life for me to be a performer, an actress, actor.
All right, I'll send you mine, Leah. It doesn't look right.
You did, Lisa, you can't be done yet.
Oh, well, no wonder it doesn't look right then.
Be done.
All right.
look like a three-dimensional cup. So I want you to, you can send it, but I want you to actually spend some time with this exercise.
All right. Okay.
To make this look real, three-dimensional. You're not sketching.
Hmm.
And if you want, I can totally give you more things to draw. I have a lot here. I can do it.
Can you take the pencil off, Leah?
Yeah.
Please? Thank you.
So you can see the shadows.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's no way you can be done. I mean, maybe.
No, I think mine's not wide enough for one thing.
And you need to get the lights and, you need to get the lights and the darks, and there's some nuances here that need to be picked up. Notice how the top edge of the cup is kind of lighter. Make sure your handle is like the right. Notice that there's darks and lights on that handle too, pretty distinct ones. Make sure the handle is the right shape. Make sure it's the right size. Make sure this, once you establish this length, you use that to determine how wide, how long and wide these are, just like you would using the head for figure drawing. So I'm not letting you off the hook for proportions on this one. My suggestion is to define the top of the cup randomly and then use this distance and this distance to determine, like this seems to be a little bit not quite as wide as this. It goes down a little bit further than it is wide across here. That kind of thing. How's it going with you, Dana?
Nah, so.
You want to send it over?
No,
Yes, did you say? Or no?
not yet.
Because actually, I need to photograph this if I'm going to. Yeah, let's work on this. I want you guys to work on this for like another 20 minutes before I look at anything. Because, at least, because I don't want to disturb the still life and I'm going to have to photograph it. If I take my phone down, I might actually keep my phone up and have you just show things up on the screen. But I want you to work for another 20 minutes. Let's see, what time is it now? It is. You have the coffee cup, it's due. It's 6:46. Yeah, so we'll go to like 7:10.
That's too big.
What's that?
Done it too big, I think, the top part.
So check this against this. Check it on the source first. And then, and you can use, this to help you measure things like handle width, that kind of thing.
Okay.
It's establishing one distance randomly that helps you decide how to, and you use that to measure against everything else.
Oh, shit.
You all right there, madam?
Yeah, I'm just making a mess.
Later. There's actually so much cat hair on this current painting of mine. I just have to let the texture be part of the painting. Ridiculous. I'm not pleased with that. There you go.
I had to change something and it's made it all wonky.
So double check your measurements. Start with the measurement of the cup. Check at the mouth of the cup.
It's
Wide.
not that, it's the curvature. I'm going to start again.
Okay.
I'm having trouble with the drawing accurate circles and
They're hard.
arcs.
Coffee cup is way harder than you think it is. This is why it's the classic, drawing. But if I give it to people too early, they don't really understand you know what I mean? You don't understand it, right? You don't understand the importance of it. Because you haven't tried drawing other things. And I think perspective is much better taught once you've drawn for a while. And then you know that there are things that aren't right. It's really fascinating.
Like you have to know that you're making a mistake before you can fix the mistake that you're making.
You make the mistake many times and be like, why can I not make her mouth right? Or why does the mouth of this cup not look right? You have to do it a bunch of times before you start to wonder if there's an issue with how you're seeing it, right? Right? Because if you make it once, you just figure, well, the next time I'll get it right. Then you don't get it right again. And then you're like, wait a minute. Now there's a pattern here. Perhaps I have to think differently. I think that is kind of one of the amazing things about drawing that I love is that it's a language that you're learning and you get better at it. You get better at speaking it, at understanding what's happening when you spend enough time with it. But you're always learning sort of better ways to speak.
Like with writing.
Like with writing and really with language.
Yeah.
Like with learning a new language. I think of like learning a new language. Writing is like that too. But yeah, because writing needs structure, right? You need to have a structure kind of supporting your words so that you can make sense. And there's a structure. And there definitely is a visual structure to like how a story plays out. Yeah. But I think it more directly like learning a language. Learning how to speak like English or, French or German or.
Yeah, I'm still trying.
Now stop. I have great jealousy. You already speak what, 3 languages? 4?
No, I don't. In Swedish school, you have to study at least 2 extra languages. And when you go to high school, you have to study 3 languages.
Mm-hmm. German, French, Latin?
Well, you can choose. I studied German and French, and it didn't do me any good.
Right.
And a little bit of Spanish, and I can't speak either.
So Diana, do you think in English these days, or do you feel like you think in Swedish? Do you dream in Swedish?
It depends on how much time I've been spending, mostly in English. But if I spend a lot of time talking Swedish or having Swedish friends over, I switch over to Swedish.
Really cool.
And I speak to my mom every day.
Right. It's situational language, right? Like when you're in a situation, there's a body memory thing that kind of happens.
Yeah, I'd say so.
So
But, if I've spoken to my mom, say I speak to her for an hour once in a while, and when I get out of that, I start speaking Swedish to the first person I meet.
Yeah. So it's still, so it's like a practice thing, it's a use thing. And I think, I think the same thing happens in art, visual art. You're learning a new way of understanding how things lay on a subject, on a, how to arrange things on this flat surface.
Mm-hmm.
And there's a rhythm and there's a logic. There is a logic to it, but you have to teach yourself to do it. Notice, guys, how how focused you have become. There may be some frustration in the focus as you're trying to figure out how to get this right. But notice how focused you've become. Does anybody else want to be interviewed, by the way, for the student show? I'm doing little Zoom interviews, little snippets, and running them on a YouTube playlist sort of consecutively over and over again with our shows. We have 5 shows, actually, 5 shows worth of work. Lana and Eugene, I didn't get anything from you, and I'm kind of mad about that. Can you get me something? Can you get me?
I'll try to come up with something. We've been really busy with work and stuff.
Yes, like one of your paintings or one of your figure drawing sketches, and Eugene, you make your mother do the same thing.
Oh, so totally anything at all that we've done?
Yeah, just the best things that you've done. And
Okay.
Okay, promise?
Yeah. As long as it's something we've done, nothing new. Yeah, that's fine.
Yes. It doesn't even have to be in class if you don't want it to be.
Okay.
Something you're really proud of that you've done. But it would be great to have some of the things you did in class. Oh my God, I really need to think about the background of my shots. I have friends say that all the time. You've got the sort of messy corner of my studio right now.
Well, I'm the same way.
Yeah.
I have the pile of papers behind me.
Yes, but you're not running Madame Leah's School of Art.
I'm not.
This is to be considered for sure.
But I'm the Madame Press Club.
Yeah, you are. That's true. You are running Madame Press Club. That's totally true. And the truth is, this is what a studio looks like. It's kind of messy. It's like, I got a lot of work done in here today. Oh my God, this new painting. I cannot wait to show it. I'm really excited. It's all oranges and yellows, and it's so big.
Anna, did you see I joined the LA Press Club?
I saw that.
Yay.
I saw that.
Yay.
Welcome to the club.
And I sent him the contest info today too.
Yeah, now it's working.
Okay.
It didn't work for Mac for some reason. It only worked with PCs.
Weird.
Yeah, it was really weird. Shit happens with things like that.
Yeah. All right, this coffee cup is starting to make me mad.
Yeah, I'm ready for feedback, please.
Open your window and let the world know.
So let's go back into, unpin the video. Let's go back to gallery mode so I can see. Why don't you hold them up? So I can see them, and let's see what happens. So don't take a picture. Just
I don't want to go first.
Well, I can go with the non-coffee cup.
Ruth, coming along. All right.
Why is mine backward?
That's just how it looks in the.
Why is Carlos in the other direction?
It looks backward to you, but
It looks right here.
to me,
It looks right here.
it does not look.
Oh, I'm seeing a reverse.
Lisa B, that looks pretty good. So what I would do, and Lisa R, looking pretty good, except it looks a little small. And Rollo, I would say, I think yours is just a touch too big here. So nip it in a little bit. Notice that if you're sketching this is almost flat. And then there's like it's almost like flat and then a couple of angled lines like this. So that's what you guys are struggling with. And Lisa R, what I want you to look at is measure this, right? The width of this.
Yeah.
see how far down it comes. As you can see, the width of this comes down to where the handle stops.
Oh, you know what I did? I tried to do that but I measured from basically the back of the cup when I was doing the vertical, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And
So
I should measure from the front, from the
Yeah.
from the stripe.
you can measure the
This-
back of the cup as well. The other thing you can do is you can actually measure, I don't know if you can see my hands here.
Mhm.
How many of 1, 2, 3? Looks like it's about 1, 2. Looks like it's about 3 down. So if
Yeah.
you
Okay.
then that means you need to adjust it a little bit.
Okay.
Once you get this, then you can figure out.
No, you're right. It's too short for sure.
But good job, you guys. You're doing great. You're doing great. The thing about the coffee cup is once you start focusing on it, you feel like you're never going to get it right. That's the hilarious thing about this exercise is that you're like, oh, this is so hard. But actually, you guys are doing just fine.
Arcs, it's the curves of the yeah.
Yeah. So what you're doing, so Rallo, one of the things to think about as a general tip, here, I'll turn my video back on too. One of the things to think about as a general tip is that it's easy to exaggerate curves. So tell yourself that. Always minimize the curve. Minimize it more than you think you should. Just like when you're dealing with foreshortening, make this bigger than you think it should be. Make this smaller than you think it should be, right? Because this is coming forward. We're going to deal with foreshortening next week. So next week, I'm going to show you how to handle how perspective plays into something like this. Like this. So that will, so you start, so we're kind of putting together our cubes and our cylinders as drawings, but just know it's like less, it's almost straight here across. And then there's just a slight angle up on either side.
Yeah.
I always Yeah, I remember, but if you feel better, guys, I remember having exactly the same feeling when I was drawing my coffee cup. I was like, oh my God, I can't do anything. I've been 10 years and I don't know anything. But I realized that's just part of the nature of this exercise because we're pinning down something. So it's easy to feel like it's elusive, but I swear to God, it's not.
Is it worth, I don't know who told me this ages ago, but just about drawing the arcs.
Yeah.
If you move the piece of paper around, I didn't do this. I don't know why it's suddenly come to my head. That it's easier to draw arcs if you are on the side. If you
Yeah, because things are narrower. Yes, because you're
you
automatically.
can put your hand on the page and just use it as a
Try it. See if that works.
compass, like a compass, basically.
Yep. Because it's sort of deepening the perspective. So it's forcing you to draw. It's making your curve look shorter. So because you're changing the perspective of how you're approaching the. Yeah, I totally get that. That's a great tip. Actually, I've never heard that before. I like it.
I might go for a quick cigarette.
Do it.
Okay, I'll be back.
All right. So on Thursday this week, because we're block 3 class, we're doing watercolor. So if you can, but it's 3 o'clock. But if you can make it, we're going to do I'm going to do a watercolor demo with folks, with the New York folks. And then Friday, we're going to do a charcoal drawing of one of my cats, my other cats. You guys can send me pictures of your cats. Maybe we'll pick one of those. Then next week, we will do one more perspective exercise. It's really good you guys are having a class a week because I feel like we have time to cover all these things, and then we can at least record them, except for the first perspective lesson, which I bummed up the recording of. I will have Europe do it and re-record. But it's great that we have so much time to be able to explore all these ideas. Yeah, I keep thinking I would like to learn another language. I love French. I love hearing French. But I'm
hard. It's hard. I mean, I studied French and I totally forgot it. And then I went to France on one of those language courses where you only speak French for, I think it was for three or 4 weeks, maybe 4 weeks.
yeah.
And you know, it was great. After a month, you pick it right back up again and you understand it. You can listen to the news on TV and at least rudimentarily speak. It's totally gone again.
Yeah.
Mm.
Definitely is one of those skills that needs to be
Well,
it's there, but you have to put yourself in the environment doing it.
yeah,
all.
it's
You can't just do it out of nowhere. I would love to speak French, but or another language, but I feel like realistically, I lived in other countries for 10 years and never learned. I mean, I tried to learn the other languages and I never could. And I got to a point where I was like, and because I speak English, I didn't really have to.
no, no.
Wanted to speak right English. But I always told myself at the time, I'm learning the language of drawing. That's why I don't have the bandwidth. But one day I would like to stop being lazy and learn.
Well, Spanish would be good to speak when you're here.
Right? Yeah, Spanish would be good. I just love. I'm really into. There's a Canadian show called Letterkenny. Have you guys seen it?
No.
Oh my God, it's so funny. Like Shakespeare for hillbillies.
Okay.
It's like hillbilly Shakespeare. They all speak with this crazy patois. They have a lot of French Canadian music on, and it's so good. And I listen to the songs all day long, and all I want to, of course, their French sounds completely, different than Parisian French. But I really love to be able to do it. I love it.
And these days you need good TV shows. Have you guys seen Mindhunter?
Yes.
Don't you find that to be too much?
No.
Now I do. Before I didn't.
It gets too. I can watch it for a while and then it just freaks me out too much.
Yeah, it's pretty freaky.
No, I find it pretty good. That and Ozark are the good.
I heard Ozark. Yeah, Ozark's quite
Yeah.
bad, isn't it?
I need to watch Ozark.
Well, I
haven't watched Schitt's Creek either.
I've heard
Oh
it.
my God.
Right,
I'm-
I had to try again after this, but I could not. I could not get into that, and I think I have to try again because of all the.
Yeah, no, I thought the same thing. The first few episodes of Schitt's Creek I did not get into, but after that I totally loved it. It's honestly, it's pure joy. It's happiness.
So funny.
You have to get pretty much past the first season, and then everything is just makes you feel.
Okay.
Yeah, no, it is. It's
torture myself through the first season.
like I said, it's pure joy. It's not stress like Mindhunter.
Are they stuck in that hotel the whole time?
Yeah.
Pretty much.
That's
think-
so fitting for right now.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah. The best episode is the one with the raw milk, I think.
Oh God.
Yeah, that was a good one. There's so many. I love it.
Where they're from, raw milk is really illegal. And then it turns into this sort of drug heist thing. It's so stupid.
Of course it did.
Not see. If you like Schitt's Creek, then I tell you guys, you will love Letterkenny.
All right,
Letterkenny.
I will check that out.
What's it called? Letter Canyon?
Letterkenny. Letterkenny.
Kenny?
Letterkenny. It is. It really is about a group of Canadian rednecks.
Oh,
And-
how funny.
Oh, I've seen a bit of it.
Fucking brilliant. So it really is Shakespeare for like rednecks. They have a patois, a way of talking that is, and they're English speaking, but you know, half of them, like at one point, one of the lead characters becomes engaged to a French Canadian woman who speaks French, you know, who's a French speaker, and they go to a wedding, like they go to a wedding.
Oh, hilarious.
And they fight a lot, like they scrap a lot, like that's their thing. But so for a while you're like, "Ah, this is weird. These people are talking to each other in this weird way." But after a while, it's absolutely wonderful. I mean, it's like absurd and wonderful, and the music is phenomenal. I have not heard a better soundtrack ever. It's really, really fun.
That's actually what I also like with Mindhunter is that they use real music and it's so in tune with the time there.
Yeah.
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 Diana, I liked it. I just couldn't. It scared me too much.
It's scary. Those people are scary.
Like, this is too hard. Oh, I know this is a side of life that exists, but Jesus, and nowhere is it more evident than now. I know there are psychopaths out there.
Well,
They live among us.
Another season of Mrs. Maisel.
Oh, that's really fun. That's
Yeah.
just,
That is fun.
Never got into that.
Me neither.
That's going to be a while. They're not even close to getting back in production on that, I don't think, sadly.
is anybody getting back into production? Are there any shows getting back into production?
I saw a show where people actually had masks on the other day. What
Yeah.
was it?
Oh, really?
Yeah.
They are getting back into.
Yeah.
They're doing TV shows and shit now.
Yeah.
They're making TV right now. Like now they're making TV.
Yeah.
How? How are they doing that?
Testing everybody and, I mean, trying to keep them on closed sets. I mean, they're filming a lot of stuff in Atlanta, you know, at these big studio spaces where everybody has to stay there.
They're living in a bubble. It's just like NFL. Everyone lives in a bubble.
Fascinating. That is totally fascinating. I had no idea. So what TV shows can I look forward to? What are they making new ones of?
Oh, just the boring ones, NCSI or whatever those shit those are.
No, if you're a fan of Succession, which I am,
Oh, I love Succession.
HBO told me directly that their plan is to film it, get back in production in late fall. So hopefully they can do that in New York.
That's
The
great.
Expanse. Do any of you cover sci-fi? I'm dying to know when the next Expanse season is coming out.
My husband watches all that stuff. I don't know anything about that.
I could not be bothered with sci-fi.
Oh,
Oh, there's good sci-fi on HBO.
Okay.
What's it called? The one with Ridley Scott,
the what?
Raised by Wolves.
Raised by Wolves.
Oh, I've heard about that one. Is it good?
I haven't seen it.
It changes so much that I've watched like the first 3 episodes, or no, 4 or 5 episodes,
Uh-huh.
and it changes so much in about how you feel about the characters. Like it changes so quickly.
All right, so here you go, guys. Here is your, I'm sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt. Go ahead, Rollo, keep going.
Oh, no, that's it. I've said it.
This is what I want to know. I'm going to ask each of you, what is like, if you could recommend like 1 or 2 TV shows of all time, what are your 2 TV?
Oh God, of all time?
Of all time?
Yeah, what are your favorites?
That's too
The
hard.
Wire is definitely one for me.
Mine would be Matador, but you wouldn't get it here. It's a Danish series from
Matador. Okay, I'm going to take a look.
Matador. I don't know if you can get it here.
What is it about?
Oh, it's life in a village, a small village in Denmark during the Second World War. It's just so exquisite.
Oh,
Does anyone remember Tenko?
What?
Does anyone remember Tenko?
Tenko?
No.
Oh my God, it was about a women's prison camp in Japan of Australian women it was based on a book, a best-selling novel, and it was a series, and it was just brilliant.
I'm writing these down.
Was it on BBC?
It was Australian, I think.
Ah.
And you said
Oh, talking about BBC, the Singing Detective, the original Singing Detective.
Oh yeah, that was very good.
I loved Call the Midwife.
Oh yeah, Call the Midwife is wonderful. Yeah, absolutely. Watch everyone.
And what was the one that Regina King was just in on HBO? That was brilliant.
Watchmen.
Yeah, that was brilliant.
That's
I love. Has anyone ever watched Misfits?
Yeah. Misfits. Oh my God, Misfits is really funny.
That sounds fun.
So good.
You know what my favorite is? Have you guys ever seen Treme?
No.
Yeah.
I've heard about it, but I've never seen
The
it.
guy who did The Wire did a show on.
Oh, it's a New Orleans one, right? From him?
Oh my God. Oh my
Yeah.
God. I still, after that show finished, it's like 5 or 6 seasons, I cried. I still think about those people. I feel about those characters like they're real people, because some are actually based on real people. Oh my God, what an incredible series.
He's so talented.
So talented. Oh my God, so talented, so wonderful. So of the moment. Treme is really good, and if I was gonna put another one out there, what would it be?
I love Prison Cell Blockade as well, but you guys have never seen that.
Which one?
It was an Australian soap opera again. Really late night. It was hilarious.
Do you remember that show, Soap? That is one of
Yeah.
my favorite shows of all time.
Yes, I remember Soap. So, Dynasty. I remember that whole time.
Oh yeah, TV was so good then.
Such a strange time, right? What, we were like 8, 9, 10. Like, is that right?
I think we were all different ages.
Yeah. Rollo wasn't born yet.
I wasn't born.
Probably not.
So are we doing the coffee cup for the rest of the lesson, or are we doing something else?
Give you something else to do. I can add something else to this. I can actually add something to this if you want me to, or you guys can do what you want to do. So we have about half an hour left, 40 minutes left. So I can add another object to this still life.
Yeah, let's do that.
Okay, I'm going to give you some options.
My goal was to make this at least start looking like Ruth Bader, RBJ before RBJ.
Hold it up. Hold it up, Diane.
Let's see.
It doesn't. I mean, it doesn't. I'm not anywhere close yet.
Get
Oh, I can see her.
now. She's coming.
Yeah.
He has a wide jaw and a narrow, and yet a very narrow face. So I noticed people are struggling to get, particularly from here to here, Diana. This is the thing.
Yeah. Oh, I measured that. So I have the wide. That's why I think she looks like a chipmunk.
So if you want to make this, okay, let's see. This is my Chibarushka. This is a Russian.
Oh.
This is a cartoon character. One of my friends in Armenia gave me. It means when you see this, they all go, they're all like, for them, it's their Bugs Bunny. Or I could put this guy in.
Ooh.
So I could put the figure in, or I could put like this jar of honey.
Oh,
Tell me what looks kind of interesting to you. I could put this jar of honey next to it. I could put it down here.
Next to it, I think.
yeah, next to it.
You want this guy in here?
I'm gonna work on the jar of honey and maybe I'll get to the other guy.
I can't do both.
I thought the doll was very cute.
I'll put the doll in, and if you remember this guy from figure drawing,
Yes.
it's
I have one of those somewhere.
Is that better, Leah? It looks different from my picture, though.
can you hold it up so I can see it?
Oh, okay. I
Hold it
sent
up.
it another thing.
Yeah, I know, but it's easier. Oh yeah, that's significantly better. You got it, baby. You got it.
Well, I'm getting there. It still looks slightly wonky.
Hold it up again and let me take a look. To me, it looked much better. All right, so you've got your little bit to the this way. Yep, there we go. So
Ask for a roll of baby?
place. What is that?
Did you ask for a roll of baby?
All right, baby. Maybe Rollo, what you want to do is get rid of this dark line. I think this dark line over on the top.
Yeah, no, I was just trying to make it so it was rounder at the top.
Yeah,
So.
yeah. So
Oh.
let's make that lighter. And if the rest of you want to hold it up, I'll take a look. And if you want to add these things in, then we shall.
It is difficult, though. It's just.
Okay, so Lisa, remember, what's the first thing we did with the cylinder?
Are you talking to me?
Yeah, Lisa Richwine.
Oh.
We made a round.
Oh, it's round. Duh. Yeah.
Do you know what Can I give a bit of a tip, which I thought was quite useful?
What's that?
So I don't know if you can see, I actually built it in a box first. So I did a square, and then I realized that actually the handle and the thing is actually the same. So I could put it in a square. So the distance between the handle and the thing is a square. So you can create a square and then fit it into the square.
Okay, that's what I wanted to see. That's what I want. That's what I wanted you to do. Excellent. That's it, guys.
Oh, okay. I win this week.
You're the teacher's pet, Rollo.
I cheated.
This is just like this beginning sketch. Here, hold on, right here. Just like this, right? Just like this guy.
Yeah. So I did it. Yeah, I did it as a square.
Yep, exactly. That's great.
I just draw them. I'll get me more.
So Lisa, remember always cylindrical objects rounded on the bottom.
Well, see, that's the thing is though, I don't think of it as a cylinder, right? You know, if I had a coffee mug at home, I think it has a flat bottom. I guess it is a cylinder.
It's
Okay,
all cylinders have flat bottoms. They just don't look like it.
you're right. Okay, got it.
So
I'm just tricking you.
Blowing my mind.
You're tricking you.
It's been a long day, Leah. I'm getting it slowly.
So what I'm actually doing is engaging your left brain in the right brain process. So most of the time, like right brain is not verbal, right? Right brain is visual spatial, but it helps to have the left brain explain to you what is happening so that logically you can understand it. Because remember, we're working on a flat surface, and that's different than dealing with something in 3 dimensions. We have to construct it differently. There are different rules. So what your job is to learn those rules.
Hey, Leah, I found an old easel that I have. Do you think it's easier to work on an easel and have something upright, or to draw on my kitchen table?
Yeah.
Work upright, because
It's definitely easier.
if you're flat on the kitchen table, then there's a skew.
Okay, I'll get it out for next time.
Actually stand next to it. You can put it next to your computer and you can stand next to it You can stand away from it, put it next to your computer and check the angles and things like that.
Okay, I'll try that next time.
Yeah, that's cool. Is it a big one or is it like a tabletop?
It's a tabletop one. I had an aunt who was an artist, and I have a bunch of her stuff, and it was in there.
What a fun find.
Yeah, it was.
I'm going to tell you, this is also a cylinder, even though
Okay.
it's not as different, right? So it has this, and actually you can kind of see the bottom because it's honey and it's clear. I didn't even think about that.
Yeah, and you've added a whole shadow to the coffee mug now.
Yeah, you don't have to get that on there. Or you can do it later if you want to.
Okay.
And then there's this fellow.
So a couple of weeks ago, I was home helping to clean out my dad's house, and we found some of his paintings,
Yeah.
and they look a lot like my early paintings.
No way.
All the same problems, all the same. I was like, oh, this is hilarious.
You know, Lisa, is your dad a painter now? Does he paint pretty well?
He has Alzheimer's now. He's like not. Yeah, he's kind of not with it at all.
So he can't draw?
No, he's kind of not together at all.
I'm sorry. Yeah, no, the problems are, because Lisa, the problems that you experience are the problems everybody experiences.
Yeah, it was just really funny.
Funny. Like I always notice people say things when we deal with a certain issue in class. People are like, I always do this, and I'm like, yeah, you don't get. Everybody does this. This is the problem, and somebody just never explained it to you that is what's happening. You know, it's helpful to know like what's actually going on. I wonder where Paul is tonight. Paul Manassian. I feel like he's really getting better too. He said, I looked at his submissions and thought, actually, these are pretty dang good. Considering where he started from.
Yeah.
There's improvement.
When I saw your doll, I remember I lived in England for a while. And I actually went to art school there too.
Nice.
And one of the first assignments was to draw a doll like your doll, pretty much, but sitting among a lot of pillows and doing it with pencil. And the lesson I remember from that is that always remember that the dark colors are in the front.
Yes.
The further away you get, the softer they get.
Right. They actually get bluer. Everything gets bluer as it goes further away from you.
Yeah.
everything. I don't know if you guys know that, but like, even if you're just looking over at the other end of your room, the corner of your room, things are getting bluer because the blue light wave travels farther or bounces back farther or something like that. Even if it's not blue, it'll look blue
Wow.
a little bit later. That's another one of those tricks that's really helpful to know. We will get into, in January, we'll get into painting and we'll do some landscapes, paint along landscapes, and we'll talk about that.
Yeah. I know it was just your doll that reminded me. I had I even went to art school there.
Where did you go to art school? And when was that, Diane?
Oh, it was in the 80s and it was in, God, what was the name of the school? It was in in what's the name of the area there? Hampton.
Oh,
Hampton Heath.
Huh?
Hampton Heath.
Yes.
Hampstead Heath.
Yeah.
Oh, fancy, fancy.
I lived there for a little while.
Oh, you did?
Yeah.
There, Lisa.
I was bumming around Europe.
Did you go there too?
Yeah, I lived in London for about a year and sort of bounced all over town. And that was the first place I lived with I was house sitting for a woman who was a shrew specialist, and she got stuck in Russia because she was studying some Russian shrew, and she got stuck in Russia because the wall fell.
Wow.
Or the wall came down in Germany, and I guess Russia sort of collapsed.
Yeah, that was an incredible year. What a year. Yeah, that was probably the most change-worthy year. Not for us, though. I don't think we felt it the way people in
Big
Europe.
deal in Europe, though.
Yeah, but it's huge. It was huge. I remember hearing the story of the wall falling. Have you guys ever heard the sort of specifics of the wall falling? It's quite a set of accidents, actually. It's kind of fascinating. Shall I tell you as you're drawing?
Is it going to scare me about what's happening in the U.S.?
It's a wonderful story. Well, oh, yay, bravo. Yeah.
Let's see. Oh, you drew the guy.
So now get him in. Now try to get the little honey bottle.
Oh God.
Yeah. I can put something else in there.
I got a very funny story about when the wall fell. I've got this really good friend called Doreen. And Doreen's really sweet. And she, when the wall fell, in West Germany, they were the West Germans were really helpful about getting East Germans jobs and things like that, because people hadn't worked anywhere before.
Right.
A lot of the time. And anyway, she was offered a job in a clothes shop. And as everything in East Germany was all to do with coupons, she found these coupons under the cashier's desk. Everyone that came in, she kept handing coupons to. Because that was the way they did things in East Germany. And then when the owner of the shop came back in, they were like, "Where are all the gift cards?"
The gift cards. Oh, shit. Oh, shit.
And she
Oh,
was
shit.
Oh no, they're gift cards. They're not coupons for clothes. And it's like, no. And she didn't know any different.
Oh.
Lose her job?
No, they kept her on, but they found it. They lost a lot of money, but they found it.
That was nice of them.
I was in Germany, I was in Berlin, and listening to, of all people, a Scottish tour guide telling the story of the wall. And I was not on the tour, but like, he was such an amazing storyteller. We all just kept until there was probably 100 people standing around him listening to him tell story of how the wall fell. And he was like, so here's what happened. all of a sudden in 1989, like Germany shut the border, people kept sneaking around the borders, you know, down through Romania, they kept going around. So Poland and Germany, Poland and Hungary shut their borders. Or Romania. Is it Romania that borders anybody? Like the two countries that were like bordering the south of Germany cut those borders off. So people were, for the first time, really total prisoners in the country. And so they began protesting, but protests were illegal. So martial law was declared. And then the question was, if people showed up, right, to do the protest, would they be shot? So people kept going out to protest. And one day there was a press conference. And so the upper leadership apparently had this discussion where they're like, well, we don't know what to do. We don't want to fire on people, right? We somehow want to get them to stop. So the decision was made that they would issue visas at the border. And then they just make it impossible for people to get them, right? So they'd announce, we're going to give you visas so you can go through the, you know, the wall, to Germany directly, and then just make it hard. So at the meeting where this was discussed, the guy who was leading the press conference for the day missed this part of the meeting. So someone scrawled on the top of one of his, like, you know, the list of the press conferences, something like, we're going to issue visas, but don't say anything. Don't like announce this because no one has like discussed this. So he like runs up, grabs the piece of paper which says just visas discussed, and he does one of those typical, you know, Soviet bullshit, like press conferences. The cows are all milking like record numbers of milk, blah, 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 blah. And at the end of it, one of the reporters says, what about the protests? And the guy who has missed the meeting, he thinks, oh, maybe there's something like on this sheet of paper like to say. And he looks down and he sees visas will be issued. And so he announces out at the press conference, visas will be issued. And no one has been told this. No one has been like, none of the visa offices. And there's this stunned silence. And one of the reporters says, when? And he looks down at the paper again and says, tomorrow.
Oh shit.
So in like 2 hours, thousands of people have gone to the border, have gone to the wall, to get to, you know, and no one has been told that there are going to be visas, or they have been told to shoot people if they go through the, you know, the wall. So there's all these people standing there and they're like, but the press just said, and this guy just said, and this is a big thing. And everyone, the guards are yelling, go home, apply for the visa, we'll deal with this later, right? And then these two West German women have tourist visas, and they're like, we have visas, and they walked right through, and everybody followed, and no one did anything. Just like watched.
Wow.
It was like accident after accident after accident after accident. It's almost like,
Those are happy accidents.
well, it was almost like divinely directed or something. Like it was insane, like how many things just kept going wrong. And no one knew, but by that time, you know, everyone knew that even though the power structure was kind of sucking up and getting worse, that it was over. It was about to be over.
Yeah.
People were like, yeah, this is just over.
And then David Hasselhoff came in and saved everyone.
There you go.
What did he do?
Oh, and he just did a single.
Oh, he did.
Yeah. They love him in Germany.
Of course they do. What's not to love?
I know.
Hey, Rollo, how's the new place?
It's fine. I just have not unpacked yet.
So what is that behind you? I like that piece of art behind you. It's kind of interesting.
Oh, it's really interesting, actually. So can you see it properly? I might have to bring it over slightly.
Who did it?
It says it is someone called Tom Ottenus,
Huh.
but it's infinity. So it goes from, you know, what's at the top and the left and the right joins in. So
I love it. And the snake is constantly eating its tail.
yeah, I'm just trying to see if I can fit it in. So if you can see the left and the right, it's the same at the top and the bottom.
That's fantastic.
it's got, so that head goes to that head or whatever, and it's cute, isn't it?
It's great.
That's cool.
Really,
I've got lots of
that
art.
is a wonderful piece.
I've got some quite scary art as well.
Is it an original or is that a print?
It's a poster for an exhibition. So I found it in Silver Lake, but it's actually from I think London.
Nice call. That's beautiful. Nice.
I love the colors too.
Mhm.
This is one of my favorites. Hold on. It's terrifying.
I'm
And I love it. I walked into a shop to buy a chest of drawers, and I decided not to buy the chest of drawers and buy this instead, which is
Whoa.
I can't really see what it is. Is it dogs?
Wait.
no, it's a fairground where all the horses are a bit like crazy and on it.
Sally, it's a horse merry-go-round.
Merry-go-round, yeah.
God. Go and speak to
The
you.
spooky merry-go-round.
It's a merry-go-round, but it's got this thing at the back about the guy who did it, and it looks like this is the last.
Oh, that is spooky.
The original got burnt, so this is one of the only lithoglyph prints of it.
Wow.
Cool.
That's fantastic. And now I see I get it. Get it.
What?
I get your vibe. I can get it.
Shall I show you my favorite one though?
Yes, please.
Okay.
It's like show and tell.
You learn a lot about somebody by seeing their art.
Oh, you go crazy if I showed you around. My house is like hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of paintings and art.
Oh, that's beautiful.
I don't know if
Wow.
so much joy, but it looks like a tree where it's like the tree looks like a person that's almost falling off
Yeah.
a cliff.
Yeah.
And
Is that ink?
Arms and branches.
Yeah.
Beautiful.
what is it again? It's a print, but it's
Wow.
yeah, I'm not quite sure what it is again. I did know at some point a linoleum print or something. I don't know. But I just love it because there's so much I can look at in it.
That's gorgeous.
And I bought it for £50 at an art gallery in Wales, and I've just taken it everywhere with me.
I can see what you like. Like I could probably pick out like you like pattern, repeating pattern. You like strong contour lines. You like kind of cool colors.
Yeah.
You like a sort of how would I say it? Like you have a kind of sense of the macabre. You have a sort of great like appreciation for the macabre.
Yes.
Is like good art, but also like something that's a little bit like creepy.
Yeah,
Fantastic.
a little bit creepy. I like it a little bit creepy.
Does that go with your personality?
Probably, yes. There's darkness inside. I don't know if I've got anything else.
Hey, listen, we all have darkness. It's just whether we admit we have it.
Exactly.
It's got stuff everywhere.
It takes so long to unpack.
Are you unpacked yet, Lisa?
But
Yeah.
Mostly.
Yeah, for the most part. I've got some stuff that I need to still take to Goodwill, but other than that, I'm good.
I find it so difficult because I don't have any internet at the moment.
So
How are you doing this?
I've got a MiFi from work. I
Good.
said to Kath, can I use that until Friday? I mean, she said, well, you're going to have to. Because the woman that lived here before was a German actress. But she'd been here 45 years or something.
Wow.
And she didn't have the internet. And she died here. She was something like 95 or 96. She died in March. And there's no cable outlets or anything. So until I find out where the cable's coming from, I can't really do much and work out how to do my apartment.
Oh, right, because you have to, yeah.
Fascinating.
And then I can work out. I mean, I can always cable things around doors and things like that, but I much prefer to know where things are going to be.
Yeah, so it takes a little while to figure it out.
Yeah, so after Friday, hopefully this weekend, I'll start like shifting things around. I've also got to buy a couch. I threw out my couch. I threw out my bookcase. So I've got nothing like that. I need to buy them all. And I threw out my TV stand.
I need to get rid of a couch. Do you want to talk?
Maybe.
Got 2 couches.
What's it like?
I can show you right now.
Okay, bring it. Carry it in front of the camera.
I will. So I bought them at Ashley, so they weren't expensive. And they don't exactly match because one was from a small apartment, and then I got the second one, but I inherited my parents' couch, so I need to get rid of them. Where, can you see me?
Yeah.
Hang on, my light isn't very good in here. Whoops.
I also have 2 couches that I just bought that I hate.
Oh no.
So can you see this behind me?
It's a bit dark. It's the light.
Yeah, it's really dark and I don't have lights in here, which is my problem. You know what I'll do? I'll send you photos of them in the morning.
Okay. Sounds good.
Yeah. Yeah.
Diana's trying to get rid of her couches as well.
And I will send this, oops, hold on. We're down to-
Leah, can you look at mine?
Yeah. Good, Lisa? Yes. There we go.
I also tried to do the bottle.
Let's see. I actually took a picture of the bottle. Nice. That's it. You guys are getting it. This lesson, you're gonna continue to reference this lesson for the rest of your life. You're gonna continue to see it. Here, hold on. I'm gonna send a picture. I took a picture of the still life, so if you want to keep working on it, or you want any of the materials, you're welcome. Let's see.
Send us your honey.
I'll send the honey one. The honey. All right, there we go. So there it is. It's pretty much the same. Or you could try a new one with any of those. Anybody else want to send anything over now that I've got my phone down? Lisa, that's good. I think you did good. I actually like where everybody got you with this. The way this lesson works, you walk away going, oh, wow. I'm still laughing about having to go back to a coffee cup after 10 years. Like, I'm laughing about it, right? Because it makes you really paranoid that like, oh my God, I can't even do this. But actually, you guys all got it. You got the point of it. You got the construction. And next week, when we do figures and perspective, you're going to see how that fits into dealing with like foreshortening, which is another kind of issue. You'll like it. I have a great like handout of somebody punching. It's a very small. It's like a pretty simple drawing like this. And so we look at the perspective, what's happening, how do you deal with like what's happening here and what happens to the rest of the body. And it's really good. It's a nice simplified version.
When are we going to do the shading lesson that Lisa asked for?
We are going to do that, and I might actually bring it into next week. So if we have time next week, we'll do it. If not, we'll do it the following week, and then we'll go to ink. For ink.
Cool. Because, yeah, I found the honey was easier because it's darker. The lighter shading on the coffee cup is harder, I feel like.
It totally is harder to see, but I felt like you guys really got the shape and things like that really well. So that is really good.
I'm jealous of Lisa B's.
It's pretty
Really?
good.
That's a first. Thank you.
Got it. You pushed it, Lisa. You pushed it. It's very
I'm learning to shade. Like I find that really hard.
Yeah, so if we have room to fit in both foreshortening and shading, we'll do it. I'll have it ready. But if we don't, if we spend all our time on foreshortening, we'll spend one thing on shading and then we'll just go to ink like everybody else. We'll spend October doing ink. I'm trying to see if you guys have heard of Inktober. Inktober is a kind of challenge people give themselves where every day in October they do an ink drawing. So
Cool.
I want to try and do that. I'm looking for a way to put this on my website so I can actually display results. So if you're interested in doing that, several of my students are in various walks and places. And and it's a fun practice. Have you guys done ink with me yet? You have, right?
Yeah, we have.
Mhm.
We did 2 lessons, I think.
So we'll
I bought ink, but I haven't done it.
I
excellent.
have no idea where all my ink stuff is now, though.
Yeah.
Good luck.
Find
It'll
that.
show up sometime next year.
Yep. Lana and Eugene, do not forget, I want pieces for the student show. These guys all did it, and you guys have been with us since pretty much the beginning, so I want some stuff from you.
All right.
Please email me your favorite pieces that you've done.
Okay.
How many pieces do you have?
They've been studying with different people for a while, so they've got stuff.
But how many pieces do you have altogether?
I have probably 100, maybe.
Oh my gosh.
Wow.
Yeah, because I asked for submissions for 5 shows. So let's see. For the love of it, I've changed it from for the love of pets to the love of animals because a lot of people sent me wild animals. So for the,
Of course.
beginning new artists has like 28. There is Pandemic Mood has about 20.
I didn't know about pandemic mood.
Yeah, for 1 or 2 of yours in Pandemic Mood. I kind of shifted ones around that I thought totally fit Pandemic Mood. There's a Black Lives Matter one that has about between Diana and Reg about 20, 25. Like,
Oh, we are the only
Wow.
ones there.
and then there's this gallery we're calling the Secret Artists of Reuters. So I selected 6 people who have done sort of extraordinary work, and then I'll introduce them to you in that show as well. So yeah, there's like probably 150 pieces. They're amazing.
Wow.
Cool. I hope my dog one's in there.
It's in there. It's in for the love of pets. Although it totally could fit for Pandemic Mood too. I might move it out.
Mm.
We'll see.
But that was my friend's dead dog that I had to look after. It wasn't dead when I looked after it, but you know,
Was it dead after you looked after it?
it was actually. It shat everywhere.
Oh God.
Oh boy.
I had it over for Christmas,
God.
and on the first night, put it on my lap, and it wasn't very tidy.
Oh, poor.
And all over me, and then I cleaned up, and then as soon as I cleaned up, I went back, and it crapped on the couch again.
Yeah.
It literally was so anxious that his mum was going away. It hadn't pooed for about a week.
Oh.
Oh, poor
And then it
doggy.
relaxed. It all just came out.
Oh God, that's horrible. It's like having a baby.
Totally.
Ay, ay, ay.
Thank you, Leah.
Yes, thank you. Lisa, I'll email you about your interview, and we'll talk about what you'll say at the show. And
Okay.
see you guys next week, unless anybody wants to join me tomorrow at 3 o'clock our time. So
Okay. Ciao, ciao.
Bye.
we're going to be
Thanks,
doing
Leah.
Gonna be doing what?
watercolor.
Okay.
Thanks, guys.
See you later.
Bye, everyone. Good to see you.